Right, good boy.
How you going, Mr. Brian?
Yeah, good. Just a nice easy 10k today.
Okay, welcome back to episode 7 of the Do Good series. This afternoon, sitting down with Brian, and we're going to do another set of rapid fire questions to learn a little bit more about this 73-year-old legend who is about to take on Bravehearts 777 Marathon for the third time. All right, so what made you sign up for your first Ironman?
Ironman. Well, I was actually doing Coolangatta Gold for the first time and met someone there, and he said, when you come back to Melbourne after the event, get stuck into some triathlons, and this is where I've come from. And he talked about the Ironmans in Hawaii, and I said, hey, I can do that. So that was in 84, in 85, 86, and 87, I went across and did Hawaii.
All right, so as much as an I can attitude, everyone has doubts going into these sort of things. So how much doubt did you have before your first Ironman?
Anything you want to do in an expanded situation, like Ironman or marathon, break it down. Always break it down. Ironman's about a swim and then a ride and then a run, not, I've got to do all these things. It's just break it down. And marathon's no different.
Break it down, nice.
There was no, the doubt just went because you did the training, and no matter what sport you do the training, and come the event day, as Anthony Hopkins said in the movie, it becomes a performance, because that's the day you've done all the hard yards, then just go and enjoy the actual day of it. Even though you might have painful parts of it, you just got to learn that, hey, I trust my body, trust my mind, trust myself, done the training, just move forward.
Okay. So now when you see people out there, young people, old people, middle-aged people, the full spectrum here, and you see them, umming and ahhing about whether they can do something hard. What do you sort of see as the block that makes people doubt whether or not to even start?
I think the positive component of all that is that they've got to learn to take one step forward. Learning to take one step forward is one step closer to what they want to achieve. And as I know when I was doing, I trained through my cancer days, through the chemo days, and I would run to the lamppost, and then the next day I would run another 20 metres past the lamppost. So it was, when you get out there, I had to come back. So you just take one step at a time, and the byproduct is that all those steps become a larger figure.
So do you see people aiming, say, my goal is to finish the marathon, and so they become fixated on getting a marathon done, versus what you're saying there from hearing you right is concentrate on, today you can just run to the light pole. That's ticking the box. Tomorrow, run just past the light pole.
Forget about the big picture, because the big picture becomes the byproduct.
Yes.
If you're training and running, it's each step forward, 1k today, 2 kilometres tomorrow, 5 k's. Suddenly, hey, I'll run 50 kilometres, or I'll run 3 hours for the week. And it's not about thinking about the kilometres. Should always be about, I'm going to run for 15 minutes, or I'm going to run for an hour. Because at the end of the week, you've run X amount of hours, but again, the byproduct becomes, there's X amount of kilometres in there. I didn't ever think about that.
Yeah, and then you turn around and look at it and say, wow, a month ago I could only run to the light post.
People become fixated on kilometres. Yeah. Can I run 10 kilometres? Take away that fixation of 10 kilometres or 20 kilometres, think about, I'm going to run for an hour.
Yeah. So if you're chatting with somebody and they're coming up with all the reasons why, which, hey, we're all human, we come up with all the reasons why we can't do something. What's your message?
There's no such word as can't in my language. And the other most powerful word, I think, is the word ask. If you're unsure about something, ask somebody that has been there or done that, and ask for their advice or the way they do it.
So I know we've talked early on that when you start to have things like Ironman, they're pretty selfish activities. What got this shift for you where you found this different why from the need to do something for Brian to, hang on, I'm going to take on Bravehearts and do something for other people?
It was after I'd won my age group up at Cairns Ironman when I was 70. And I looked at it, obviously I qualified for Hawaii again. And I thought, do I really want to go there? What's the point? And then I sat back and thought, gee, what have I taught my grandkids? Have I really taught them anything? And I felt that I hadn't really taught them anything except to be hungry for success. Well, that's fine, but life should be about what have you taught somebody something that they can pass on to someone else. When you've done something like that, then to me, you've achieved something because they're going to continue on the legacy, whether that be in sport or whether it be in business. You need to surround yourself by people that have experience that you don't have, learn from that, and then move it forward and teach other people.
So it's likely now, 73, Brian. There's a chance this will be your last 777.
Yeah, as much as I'd love to keep going, I have other priorities in a sense. And look, I may come back and do some part of it next year. That's we'll see what happens. But my wife, as you know, we've been married for 53, we've been together for 55 years, and she has Parkinson's. She's my number one priority. I need to look after her, and while I'm away doing if I continue to do something like this, it starts to become a little bit selfish, and that I don't want to be because she's my priority, and spend more time with the grandkids.
What's your approach to training? Do you follow a plan or do you go by feel?
I follow a plan. I'm very person that needs to be structured a little bit. So structure gets me out of bed and so I've got to do this, otherwise I feel guilty I haven't done it.
Okay, how do you stay on track when the motivation dips?
Think more about the why and put that in your head and say, this is why I'm doing it. And the why is a benefit for somebody else that becomes a stronger motivation to do whatever you're wanting to do.
And how does that flow through when every part of you is saying, it's time to stop?
Then if you're running, just walk. I think as long as you're moving forward.
I loved Brooke answer this when she hit that point recently where it was like, hang on, it's not working for me today, and she had to make that call that I'm just going to stop today. And I think her coach said to her, you know what? Sometimes knowing when to stop is
I actually talked about this morning to my coach Justin Granger, and I said, look, I missed last week's last week or the week before. I missed the double run on the Saturday for things happened. So that's okay, doesn't matter. Just do what you got to do.
So would you encourage people to get a coach?
Yes, definitely. Purely because, well, for me personally, I'm one for looking at, hey, that's written down for me. It's not about me thinking about what I should do. This is what I've got to. More so, I'm doing this because I've got a coach who's guiding me. Yeah, that's not to say you've got to be totally structured to what the coach. Justin can put things down for me, and I won't do 3/4 of the stuff if it's in the gym. But it's got me down on the running, and I'm comfortable. I've got my confidence in him giving me some guidance, and a bit of obviously my experience with his guidance.
Yeah,
we come
together. So let someone who knows this stuff take care of the plan. Take a little bit of mental load. So really important for anyone trying to do something. Get a coach.
Sometimes that's purely a motivation. It's purely to motivate you or to bring you out of that doldrums because you've had a bad day.
Yeah.
Sometimes just ring the coach. It's not weak to speak, as they say.
Yeah.
That applies to sport too. To speak to somebody.
Talk to somebody. It really helps. You've got lots of experience. What's a mistake you see people making when they're training for something hard?
Training too hard, not looking after their nutrition, not looking after their body before and after training as such. Recovery for me has been crucial, especially as I've got older, and strengthening again in the gym. Recovery through magnesium pools, hyperbaric chamber, just do a little bit of stretching. I don't do enough stretching, but it's a recovery that you need to do. And quite often you might find you start doing something. Gee, I haven't done that for a while, but I can feel the benefits of it.
Yeah, I think the hardest session for an athlete is recovery. So people, put time into recovery, please. You've got a background in sales. I think you've got some really good tips.
Toughest word in English language is that 3-letter word called ask.
So you've managed to turn that into some serious fundraising for Bravehearts, which is to be commended, and I know they really appreciate. So how much have you managed to put together?
Over the 3 years, Mark and I we're just over the 100,000.
Wow.
3 years, and obviously more to come because we're still 4 weeks out and we've got a golf day, we've got a few other things happening. So yeah.
So what's the secret to getting support?
Definitely ask the question, but ask because you want them to be aware of why you're doing it. It's not about getting the dollars off them. The dollars actually become a byproduct in a sense. You want to say, hey, I'm doing, and I'll talk about it all day. I think today already I've probably spoken to about 5 people, but purely I just wanted to. Oh, by the way, they might have said, "Oh, nice day" or whatever, and I would have said, "Oh, yeah, this is what I'm doing, but I'm doing it for this reason." And they were a bit more focused on the 7 marathons, and I straight away took it away from it. No, the 7 marathons is not the importance of it. Yes, we're doing that, but I want to raise the awareness. And by all means, if you want to like to donate in Bravehearts, if you care about the kids of the world, please don't.
When you're going to go and approach somebody to get support, what's your number one thing somebody should have in mind?
What's the benefit for them? What are they getting out of this? Are they getting satisfaction? Are they getting they're a company or people that are donating to a good cause and there's something in it for them as such? Are you going to promote them?
Obviously, Bravehearts, what they do is very challenging for people to talk about. So how have you learned, because I think also for people simplifying the message is really important. How have you learned to break that message down in a way that gets the cut through?
Know the statistics. Know those statistics, but understand, read up about Bravehearts, get a more feel, study, and then you become more invested in why you're doing whatever, because you start looking at those stats and they're not improving. Some parts of it are getting worse. Well, Bravehearts need more help. The only way they can get help is by having dollars.
Yeah, so that understanding what they're doing, and that brings you a position why it's important to you. And
how do we get better on a bike? How do we get better on barefoot water skiing? We used to practice on the ground, practice.
Yeah.
Well, understand what Bravehearts is all about. Not just, oh yeah, Bravehearts and his kids. No, understand what they actually go out and do. Talk to the people that are involved there. They'll tell you all day and every day what they're actually doing because they know what they're doing.
If there's one tip for engaging people, getting support, what would it be?
The more no's you get, it should make you become more confident getting a yes, because X amount of no's, there'll always be a yes. So if you get 1 or 2 no's, hey, it might take 9 no's, but you'll always get a yes. I think when I was in the sales, coming out of hospitality and into selling, we knew that if we spoke to 10 people, 100%, we would get at least 1 sale.
And I think that's such an important message, because I think today so much of it is expecting to get that yes every time. But that's not how it works, is it? You've got to just keep stepping back up.
And we got taught to hey, I got 1 no, I got 8 more to do, 8 more no's to get before I'm going to get that 9 more no's to get before I get that yes.
So what is it that keeps you leaning in to the challenge of life?
Because you know that some good's going to come out of something, and you want to know why that good has come out. As you know, I lost my mother when she was 22 and I was 15 months old. I had abused at 9, cancer 7, 8 years ago. My wife's got Parkinson's. She's had cancer. Have we become more close and connected? Yes, we have. Have we learned to become more positive in things we do? Yes, we have. So it's the positive that you've got to look for the positive and then embrace that in positive. From it. What can I take from this? What has those things taught me?
So you've talked a lot about legacy. What do you hope your story shows other people?
That they can go out and just say, I can do this, and just always break something down so it doesn't become, the challenge doesn't continue to become, I'm trying to get the right word here, so it doesn't become out of reach. Always break it down, say, why can't I do that? I can do this, so let's just go and do it, but how can I make it a bit easier? Again, I come back to the Ironman. If you kept on thinking about putting all those things together, it becomes mind-boggling. Yeah, never be afraid to put it out there to say, hey, I'm going to do something, but probably sometimes find a bigger why to do it. It's not, depending on this why with the 777 is all about the Bravehearts and obviously my personal experience and it's become bigger than when I first started out. When the very first day I saw the challenge, yes, it was about 7 marathons, 7 days, but then it opened up a whole heap of doors and a whole heap of mindset. And now I can sit back and say, yep, not only am I proud of doing what we've done, but I'm more proud because we've done it with Mark, our son. I think with somewhere like Bravehearts, and you do it with family members. And the beauty of that was Mark's children, so with 3 of our grandkids, ran with us in Wollongong and, in Sydney and Canberra. That to me was huge.
That was pretty special.
That was more special than at the finish of the Gold Coast Marathon, because it meant I'd achieved what I was after. The kids becoming aware of what we're doing and why we're doing it.
Brian, amazing. Thank you. I think my wrap on that, if you don't ask, the answer can never be yes.